Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with more Gran Turismo 7. This time round here for the Toyota Racing Cup. Yes, it's been a little while since I jumped into this series. I did round 1, I couldn't do round 2, and then apparently I read somewhere that round 1 didn't count anyway. However, round 3, I managed to qualify P3 there. Toyota GR010s here from Lemans. So it's kind of like our warm-up, ready for the real-life race, of course, going on this weekend. Yeah, obviously quite a fan of the faster cars on Gran Turismo 7. I feel like they suit my driving style generally across a lot of games. So hopefully we can try and have a good race here today. Pole position was a little way ahead of the rest of the field, but I felt like my qualifying lap was far from perfect, so you never know what we might be able to do. And of course, a very, very long race as well here from Le Sart. So excited for this one. Hopefully it can go a bit better than the race we did last time out. Of course, that was a bit of a disaster in the GR Yaris, but was kind of a good, you know, step back in to Gran Turismo, or at least a harsh reminder either way. Starting this one on the soft, 17 laps ahead of us, so it might be a case of softs to mediums. It might be a case of we get some rain later on. You just don't know. It's the joys of Gran Turismo 7 then. Is, yeah, you can see a lot of different paint schemes, quite a few of us rocking the 2023 version of the number 8 car, so hopefully we can try and get a nice clean getaway there. I noticed the Spaniard in P2 5 thousandths of a second quicker than myself, but as the jets fly up above, it is green flag racing then here from Le Mans. Going to be about a 45-minute race, maybe slightly more than that actually. Yeah, no, going to be a lot more than that, isn't it? It's going to be about an hour race overall this one, so plenty of time to make moves happen, plenty of time just to be patient and allow the race to come to us there, as clearly the guy in P4 didn't want to play it that way. Their big dive coming in at turn 2. Luckily just about able to cover him off, but yeah, we are going to take it nice and easy early on this race. Of course, like I said, it is such a long one. A little bit of lag there. Almost followed the laggy car in front. Track limits as well, just like that race we did at Grand Valley, are quite strict. You know, I think it's around here it makes sense. Grand Valley, I kind of struggled with the logic in some places. I couldn't quite work out. You know, one lap it felt like you get away with something, the next lap it didn't feel like you could anymore. So that was very, very weird to try and get used to. But here at the South, feels like it makes a lot more sense. And hopefully, of course, we can try to keep it clean and tidy there as Spaniard. Just a little bit of a mistake as we go through the first chicane. Looks like the Portuguese guy at the front there has picked up a half-second penalty as well. So, yeah, I think it is going to be one of those races where just keeping it clean and tidy, so easy to make mistakes. It's actually both of our top 2 drivers picking up a penalty on this opening lap there. You can see just how potent the slipstream is, up over 200 miles an hour as we head down to the end of the chicane. And we will make it down the inside then, and now up into P2 as we're going to be up into the lead. There you go, the easiest move for the lead I may ever make on Gran Turismo. We are through, and now we're going to be the one punching a hole through the air for everyone else then. So, not quite the way our Portuguese friend there would have wanted to start this one, but like I said, it is such a long race still. So that is a dive bomb and a half coming in. He will ghost. It was such an outrageous dive bomb that Gran Turismo assumed we were going to have a crash. But again, we hang on around the outside. He is going to get one last big slipstream effect as we head down in towards Indianapolis. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Le Mans next weekend. I feel like, you know, it's probably going to be a Toyota domination unless they break down. And speaking of Toyota domination, our friend once again there trying to look clean around the outside. Don't really want to try and go side by side into Indianapolis. Definitely, I've got a, don't know if it's connection or just a little bit of ghosting there. It's the car behind flying off into the gravel trap as well. But surely once he serves his penalty, we're going to be back up into the lead. Hence why I didn't really want to give him too much of a fight for the place. So I'll make it very, very clear. He does give me the room as well. Thank you very much, good sir. And we will be back into the lead then as we come towards the end of lap 1 here. So yeah, good clean tidy start when all is said and done. Much better than the race we had a couple of days ago. Of course, span lap 1. Still not really sure how I managed that, to be honest. I think we just got a bit stuck to the wall there. It's clearly got some confidence as we head through the Porsche curves. Don't run wide. Just ever so slightly there. That might be a half-second penalty for ourselves. We might just have got away with it. I think we've got away with it there, so we've done alright. So come towards the end of lap 1. Yeah, like I said, penalties will be a big talking point throughout this race, so just try and keep it planted. You'll see there as we get towards the start-finish line, a 1 second lead at the front of the field. 3:32 opener is not bad going either, but it does depend on tyre wear and tyre usage and all that kind of good stuff as well. What I've definitely remembered again on Gran Turismo is just how smooth you have to be all the time. It's probably the only game up there with iRacing that smoothness is absolutely everything. You know, it's going into the corners, getting all your braking done before you get the car stopped. You really can't overdrive cars on this game, which again, just like iRacing. So yeah, it is just about trying to respect the car, trying just to keep it clean and tidy there. But of course, you know, if the guy behind feels like he can just step slightly closer to that limit, you really are going to find yourself in a difficult situation. As you can see there, the gap's still floating around 1 second. But yeah, it's all slowly coming back to me once again on Gran Turismo 7. As always into here, he's very much later on the brakes. But again, you can see just running a little bit wide there on the exit, and without the slipstream effect, he's probably going to be saying goodbye to a little bit of speed right the way down this straight. Does depend on the boost usage as well. Of course, fully automated now on Gran Turismo 7, but there are little sort of tricks you can do with it, if I remember correctly. Of course, you know, revving out each gear slightly more, trying to, you know, just get more battery usage out of the car than other people might be able to. There was slightly wide in through Indy, but we gather it up nicely, no panicking, not too much to worry about. Okay. Genuinely didn't realise I'd gone outside of track limits there, but we are going to have a 1 second penalty to serve at the end of the next lap, so it must have been quite an impressive one then to pick up a 1 second penalty for it rather than just a half a second one. 3:28 though, second lap round. We really are just easing ourselves into this race. It'd be nice to pick up fastest lap though, was the tyre wear. Definitely noticeable here. That was a lot of curb through 1. Don't pick up another half second, Matt. It's again a lot of curb through the chicane as well. But, you know, we're playing it risky. Can't find the limit if you don't push the limit from time to time, but we got away with all of that. Still making sure, being very, very careful avoiding the sand pit, and you can see 1.5 seconds up on this lap up to this point, so we definitely are still building up the confidence in this car, but yeah, going to lose a bit of time that time around there. It shouldn't be too bad, actually. A car, of course, accelerates so ridiculously quickly. I've definitely noticed, obviously, the more penalty you get, the more over the penalty time it costs you. It does seem to be an exponential thing on Gran Turismo as well there. So you can see we've still luckily kept the gap at around the second mark, so that's reassuring. Of course, really don't want to be giving the guy behind any slipstream if I don't have to. Just make sure we keep it clean and tidy through here. This time round, that's the line I was looking for. Much, much better. And without that 1 second penalty, this would have been a really impressive lap time here. What might be more impressive, though, is just how quickly those tyres are falling off. Oh, hello. Okay. Got to be careful still on the exit. Because now we're going to be under a lot of pressure from the Spaniard behind there. Huge tank slapper. Lucky actually to hang on to it, to be honest. As he's going to have a look around the outside. He's going to try and keep the nose there. I think we've just about got the inside for turn 3. But yeah, now we are definitely under a lot of pressure. Top 3 now. All duking out. We're only on lap 4 of this race, so it's still very, very early doors. Might be worth pitting in at the end of this lap, seeing just how quickly, of course, these tyres do fall away, bolt in a set of mediums, and then go from there. You can see again, though, we have got the confidence in the higher speed stuff, and I think that genuinely might also be cockpit cam helps you. Just because you're in that more realistic driving position, you feel like you can try and hit different lines more consistently. I do like still the T-pod, I guess you could probably call it, or T-cam even, I should say, on Gran Turismo 7. But yeah, to be honest, I'm enjoying cockpit cam as well, as that was probably a little bit too brave on the way in there. Luckily that we didn't lock the front inside wheel. But yeah, we're definitely either this lap or next lap gonna have to pit. I'm looking at that rear right, it's rear left even, and it is really looking like it's going down, but I think we should be able to extend one more lap out of the car there. It's a pretty planted Toyota car. So yeah, it shouldn't be the end of the world trying to just get one more out of it. It's just been another pretty decent lap. 28.6 with a couple of mistakes, so we're consistently nestled in those 28s. But yeah, definitely feel like if I get it all hooked up, we can easily smash that fastest. Oh, okay. So the track map just potentially now showing that there could be some rain appearing on the radar. Have to be very, very careful of that. But, I mean, yeah, we're going to have to pick the end of this one anyway, but would it be worth an early stop on Winters? I don't know. Yeah, the rain is definitely arriving, so could it be a call on Winters? The problem, of course, when you don't... I've never really done much changeable conditions driving, as well, the wiper blades have gone off again. There is a tiny bit of water on the venue, but I don't even know sort of what, like, the cut-off period is between dry tyres and intermediates being the way to go. So this might be a real step into the unknown then as we continue on through this race. You know, it does often rain at Le Mans. Never expecting it not to, but yeah, I think these tyres aren't giving up too badly yet. Couldn't try and take him another one, could we? And see what happens now. The rain's completely disappeared again. I think what we're better off doing is just boxing on, putting that set of mediums on the car. I've got no idea where I need to brake here. Oh, okay, we've done all right there. Yeah, we'll put those set of medium tyres on, and we'll go from there then. Don't need to worry about fuel either. So Frenchman takes the lead, stays out yet another one. Looks like we might be one of the only cars into the pit lane then, as the field, of course, understandably, has actually spread out quite a lot early on in this race. Where's our car? Hello? Have we lost our car somewhere? There we go. Finally does appear in the pit lane. We are one of the first ones into the pits. One other driver joining us, a German there, who's running a bit further down the order. So, of course, we are going to be now one of the quickest cars out on the circuit. But it really does depend on what happens with that rain, I suppose. There's more rain now appearing on the radar. Have others just tried to hang out there and see what happens? No idea what's going on with the radar. That doesn't seem good. The track is descending into... I can only assume it's the Shadow Realm, to be honest. What is that? There we go. Leader in off his set of soft compound tyres as well. So clearly just wanted to try and stretch him one extra lap over what I was able to do. But so that's reassuring then, of course. It's not like we've gone completely the wrong way on strategy relative to everyone. There's the car in front of me just peeling into the pit lane. Intrigued to see where we're going to come out relative to the Frenchman as well then. So we'll just try and wind our way through the final chicane again. You've really got to get used to how much curb you can take through there. Such a weird kind of driving experience, it feels like. But yeah, we are going to re-emerge then ahead of the Frenchman. That's good. So that's just a case of waiting and seeing when other cars in front pit. A little bit of front lock in there. So easy to do. Having to run completely neutral brake bias in this thing. Just found it was the right balance. Between, of course, making sure the car was getting stopped, but also being able to try and carry momentum and obviously use the rear brakes. Just couldn't quite find anything better than the standard one, as that might be a half-second penalty. Yep, there you go, half-second penalty for a tiny mistake where we definitely lost time as well. Definitely still mistakes coming out of other drivers. I'd be amazed if any of these guys have been able to take their soft tyres 7 laps in. As well, there we go. There's that penalty as well. But no idea where the Frenchman's disappeared to. Clearly has made a mistake somewhere, because now it's our fellow Brit who's 7 seconds further back. So, of course, it does still depend on how tyre strategy and things like that are going to work here. And of course, you know, what are the mandatory tyres still? I keep forgetting to check on this game. I wish there was a way you could find out during a race. To be completely honest, but just got to get on with it, as someone's gone, but I don't know, they were behind me, so I don't think that's too much of a concern. But yeah, I reckon all of these guys are on mediums as well, and of course now very, very worn out medium tyres. So we wind our way through the final chicane again there. That was a lot of curb on the way in, but look how much grip we've got on the exit. You can just see they're getting a big run on the pole. 29.3 that time round, to the inside we'll go. Let's try, oh, give me a big old squeeze apparently. we'll try and switch him off the corner then. Big snap of oversteer. So we try and put the throttle down, but we are now through. And up then into P5 of this race. Yellow flags out. Someone else clearly has had issues a little bit further up the road. And looks like the Spaniard who was battling right at the front of the field is gone. So we're up then into 4th place of this race. Don't know whether he binned it and rage quit or what happened there, but we'll take the freebie. And we're getting a nice bit of slipstream as well from the German in front there, just being super smooth with our steering inputs as we head down the Mulsanne once again. I must admit, I love Le Mans. It's such a good circuit. There really just is no other track like it in the world. I guess the only real places that come close is somewhere like Monza. You know, just that high-speed nature. And of course nowadays with the chicanes as well. But yeah, it's just such a great track for endurance racing. You know, it really is that still test of an endurance race car. And yes, I love the Nordschleife, but I still reckon this place is the ultimate test around the outside of the German will go. He clearly doesn't want anything to do with that fight. So we'll run very, very wide on the brakes, maybe even too wide on the brakes. Might just be able to try and get a run on me off the corner. Yes, he will. So we'll have to try and slot back in. And that's a half-second penalty as well, apparently. So I'm not too sure how I feel about that one. Definitely was just a small mistake there. We'll get to the inside this time round, though. As we head down in towards Indianapolis. Again, we will just about make it through. Sliding in front, open up the wide line, ready for Indy. I'm having to blend the throttle through the first part, just to keep the back end in check. And then, of course, trying to brake once you've straightened the car up. As I've said, that is the key on Gran Turismo 7. But yeah, as we head our way out then, I'm going to try and leave it in 3rd gear. Lose as little time as we can, and there immediately goes our friend once more then. So we might have to try and sit behind him down through the Porsche curves. Only lap 8 at 17, so still a long way to go. We are definitely going quicker. What is he doing? Come on, bro. Get on with it. Just wanted to... What is this guy doing? Very, very confused, but we're through again. Don't know if he was trying to let me by or what, but either way, he made a hash of it. Oh, and there we go. That's at least one of the top 2 into the pit lane. Yep, second in then off his medium, so he's going to try and go hards to the end of this race, one would assume. E3 as well in. So we've got 7 seconds up to that Italian in front. He might already be on a set of hard compound tyres, but even if we 2-stop this, say if it was only mediums and hards that had to be used, even if we 2-stop this, we are not out of it by any means. There we go, leader in. So we are going to retake the lead then of this race. Probably going to aim to go another 2, maybe 3 laps on these mediums before we go hards to the end. Again, just got to be so careful on that throttle. Banging the car off the rev limiter as well. Another 28.4. So, yeah, I think I want to try and beat that 27, to be honest. That's what I want to try and go for. But finding another second here, it's no easy feat. Boom, there we go, 26.3, sorry. Just found 2 seconds over anything else I've done already in this race. Was not quite expecting that, but that was a really nice lap, to be completely honest. But, yeah, we've got... Oh, come on. What have we got? 14-second lead now over P2, but I don't quite know still who's going to have to pit again before this race is out. Someone a bit further back pitting once again. So yeah, clearly there's a mix between the 2 and the 3 stops, but... Sorry, the 1 and the 2 stop even, I should say. But I guess we'll just find out, obviously, when I pit. Yeah, probably end of 13, I want to say. I don't want to do too many laps on the hards if I can avoid it. There we go. Clearly the Frenchman in P2 is not done with this race just yet then. Goes even quicker than I was able to there. 29 thousandths of a second improvement. And of course, around an 8-mile circuit, that is not a lot at all there. 3 thousandths of a second a mile. There or thereabouts. So kind of mad, but yeah, this is not going to be over right until the very end. I can't remember if he's on the same strategy as me or whether he's on the 1 stop. But I think what we'll do is we'll pit the end of this one. There's no point stretching these tyres out as far as they possibly can go. The hards will easily do 5 laps towards the end of this. So then with a Hunter, we'll become the hunted once again. I can't quite remember how much time we're going to lose going through the pit lane again. Like I said, I can't even remember, to be honest, whether this guy needs to pit again or not late on here, so it is going to potentially come down to the wire. But yeah, good race, and I mean, up to now, much better than the not the GR race, sorry, the Nations Cup race we had yesterday. So as we head down into the pit lane, just trying to be a little braver on the entry this time round, and we will make sure we're going hard. No more fuel again required to see us through to the checkered flag then. I think at the very worst we're going to re-emerge in like P3 or P4 as the leader, yep, is going to fly past me then. So Frenchman back into the lead at Le Mans. I'm sure he wants to win this just as much as I do, but didn't take those mediums as far as I tried to with the softs in terms of life. There we go, Portuguese guy in as well. So that is another overtake that hopefully we won't have to make late on in this race, but I think we're going to re-emerge. Where are we going to re-emerge then in this race? Is it in fact going to be P4? Looks like it is. 16 seconds away from the leader, so that is a rather large margin, to be honest. Was not expected to lose that much time through the pits, but we just got to get on with it. 18 seconds, and so yeah, we've lost a good 30 seconds from that. It's going to be a tall order. Well, to be honest, 4 laps to go. Looking at the gaps at the moment, these hard tyres, sorry, are not particularly enjoyable to drive on, so not too sure. Again, like I said, what the strat is for others, but yeah, we're just losing time at the moment. They just aren't gripping up the way I was hoping they would. Still got to be careful of that. What's worrying me now is the gap is opening up so much to the Frenchman at the front of the field that he might still be able to pit. Say, for example, you don't have to use the hards in this race. He might be able to pit onto a set of soft compound tyres and come out ahead of me late on here, because these, I mean, look at that. They're just not working at all on this car. 3.5 seconds down on my PB. They're just locking up everywhere. Not able to get them working where I want. And we're losing a good 2 seconds a lap, at least, at the moment. As I said, if everyone has to use them, then everyone's going to be in my boat late on. But, of course, if you know how bad they are, just wait to the end of 16 and bolt them on. So there we go. Spaniard into the pits. We are going to be back up onto the podium then. So, yeah, maybe everyone does have to use all 3 sets. And, of course, they were just trying to leave them as late as possible. Hopefully we'll get official confirmation in just a second as to what he's doing. It's 23 seconds to the leader and a 32-2. So 4 seconds slower. 6 seconds slower than my PB, pretty much. Still not quite sure what the Spaniard is doing. There we go, he is on hards. So I reckon everyone's got to use all 3 tyres. But of course, wise people at the front are just doing as little as possible on them. Now the gap finally starting to come back the other way against the Frenchman. My times aren't improving, it's just his are getting a lot worse. So I reckon then, yep, he's tried to go as far as possible on the softs and the mediums, and is just going to have to bite the bullet late on in the day. 10 seconds to the guy in front, 10 seconds to the car behind, and another 10 seconds in front to the race leader ahead of that. So top 4 all very evenly split at the moment, but yeah, surely if they do have to pit, we are going to be ahead once more. Until I do lines like that, you just don't get the sense of grip or feedback from these tyres. Leader has still not boxed. P2 has still not boxed. So are they just trying to brave it to the end? Is this race actually not over? Let's wait and see. Oh, come on, don't start doing that again. Gap down to under 20 seconds. We're already setting 31s. They must be setting like 35s. This is getting really weird towards the end. 2 laps to go. About another 1.5 seconds gone as we head out onto the Mulsanne once more. So I reckon they really are just trying to drag this thing out to the end. Italian now in P2 is actually looking very, very comfortable. See, my couple of little mistakes there is allowing him to close in on the Frenchman, but this could get really interesting towards the end still. Well, neither of our top 2 are pitting then. 1 lap to go here from Le Sarp, who've taken another 6 seconds out of the leader. To be honest, the Italian in P2 seems to be the one in the hot seat at the moment, but we just don't know what's going to happen about these penalties. 3:30, we are getting quicker and quicker on these tyres, but it is really just a question of how much will they fall off on this final lap around the venue. It really has not been the way I thought this race would go, and you do only really tend to get these races on Gran Turismo there. Make sure didn't take too much curb anywhere through the first sector, but surely the Frenchman is going to lose the place to the Italian. Looks like he already has, as I'm messing up all my lines as well. Come on! No. Just one of those 50-50 moments where it was going to snap. Come on. Get in reverse. Go the other way. And now it's all going to come away from me. All going to come away right at the very end. So difficult the handling model on this game. Just so weird to drive with. And yeah, front bumper damage as well. Of course, that will sort itself out. But any chance at the podium, any chance of P2, gone in an instant there. As I think actually, no, we saw the Italian spin at the front of the field. So Frenchman now back in control once again. What on earth is happening late on in the day? Quite got any idea what's going on at the front of the field anymore. Frenchman is still hanging on at the moment. Will the Italian get close to him? I mean, even if they both pick up penalties for improper tyre usage, surely. I don't know. I don't know what anyone's doing in terms of tyre strategy here. This is so weird, but imagine if we hadn't have spun, we would have been really getting close now on those top two there. But I mean, yeah, if the Frenchman wins this, fair play to him, because those tyres are absolutely shot, but the Italian still looks in much better condition. And of course, we're now just guessing what the gap is going to be between those two. Looks like the pole in front of me has made a bit of an error as well, which allowed the Portuguese driver through. But yeah, so much late race drama going on here from Le Mans. Imagine if the real life race, the last couple of laps, as dramatic as this, where everyone apparently is making issues. Pole as well, losing even more time, so must have picked up a penalty in all of the commotion there. But in towards the Porsche curves for the final time then in this race. We've got no idea who is still going to win this thing. Maybe it's going to be super undramatic, and it is just going to be the Frenchman at the front of the field, but the Italian is all over his gearbox as we head in towards the final few corners. Just try and keep it planted. Oh, I've ran wide, don't get a penalty. We have got a little bit of time to the car behind, luckily, so I think we'll get away with that. Frenchman takes it on the road. We are going to pick up a half-second penalty, so that's rather annoying. Of course, that will get doubled when we get over the start-finish line there, but I think we've got the gap to the German through the final couple of corners. It's P5 on the road. Where is it going to be? If there are any penalties, it's still P5. So no tyre penalties there coming for the front runners. So a little bit gutted with the way that one ended up. Definitely felt like we would have been in the fight for the win. And to be honest, how close could we have been on that final lap there had we not had that spin anyway? But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will be back very soon with more sim racing content.